So I think the highlights in my view of this conference would be two things. One, because we're so focused on encouraging young members, we've even gone far afield to encourage participation from the ADR societies in the tertiary institutions, because we actually want them to see what your typical arbitration scenario would look like. But there's one particular session that I would really encourage all of us to look out for, and that's a session on securities for cost. It gives you a snapshot of just one area of what a typical arbitration scenario would look like. It's been curated by some of our foremost arbitrators, both within the city of Port Harcourt and outside. We have participants that would essentially, I don't want to call it a drama, but I'm certain that there will be some kind of drama around it, and it's never been done before. We've typically had conferences where we speak to most of the issues that we typically face as members of the arbitral community. For the first time, we're going to have a display, and a very serious one for that matter, on an equally serious part of arbitration. And I'm sure that those who have had the privilege of encountering issues around securities for cost would certainly look out for it. But even more importantly, those who have never seen what a typical arbitration scenario would look like are encouraged to look out for this session and actually watch and learn.
We were very deliberate with our choice of speakers and even with the sessions that we've put together. We're being very forward-thinking with the kind of topics that we're discussing this year. So of course, it's not business as usual. It's not the usual topics that you have, usually at some of these conferences. We're trying to make it a bit more interesting, a bit more dynamic in terms of our topics, as I've said, and in terms of the speakers, even in terms of the delivery of those sessions. So we want it to be very practical. We want people to have real hands-on knowledge. We want it to be as engaging and as interactive as possible. And so those were the kind of considerations we had in terms of coming up with our sessions this year and our topics. I'm not allowed to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but I think that people should really anticipate the kind of topics that we're going to discuss this year, even the kind of speakers. Our speakers are not just from Nigeria. We have speakers from all parts of the world. We have speakers from different professions, just because we're trying to be as diverse as possible in terms of our panels, and so that everybody in the room can understand what we're talking about. So these are the sorts of things that we've considered in putting together the sessions and the speakers. It wasn't a day's work, I'll be very honest, but again, a lot of thought process went into ensuring that the entire conference experience has been properly curated to cater to everyone in the room, from the judges who are going to be in the room, to the arbitration users, to the in-house counsel, to the corporate organizations in the room, to the arbitration lawyers themselves, to the experts who are sitting in the room, even to the students. So across all that, there's a lot of representation with respect to those sessions and those topics. And I'm quite pleased with what we've come up with. In good time, we should be able to divulge that, and everyone can go along to see that we're going to have fantastic sessions and speakers this year.